right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit podcast. The podcast is for blurs and for nerds and for all those that are trying to escape the Spider-Man No Way Home vortex. I can tell you that this is a safe space because we're not going to talk about it. I'm your host and most Will Buchanan, of course, the man to my left, your right, and I'm wondering what he's going to come up with this week. What you got, Joe?
I'm almost done collecting Kate Bishop, Joe Tonello.
So somewhere Rick's Comic City is excited about that. But beyond that, guys, before we get started, we do sit there and say this is a family-friendly podcast. We do try to watch our language, but sometimes words do fly. And at the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers. So again, viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. Yes, we are aware that Spider-Man No Way Home came out. And just like everybody else, we are respecting it. We will not be talking about it. Probably somewhere down the future, we will talk about it and give our feedback on it. But tonight is not going to happen. So again, if you are trying to find spoilers, in the words of the great Gandalf the Grey, you shall not pass. Aside from that, there is some news that
Wait, you use that, but you don't use the Doctor Strange from Infinity War?
I've seen 14,613 possible combinations.
Yes, and none of them are to be spoiled.
Damn, that was pretty good. Look, that did not occur to me at the time, but you had time to actually come up with that.
No, I literally just came up with that on my own.
I was not thinking about that. Dang. Ah, well, I'll take credit for it eventually. But with that being said, we do got to talk about some things that did come up to light. It's a couple of video game news that I want to get to very quickly, just because they're kind of short stints and I wanted to get to. First and foremost, new Splinter Cell. For all those that don't know, Splinter Cell, one of my favorite games. I believe it was one of Xbox's first platinum games, if you will. Which was a self-styled mobile stealth game. Or if you're like me, stealth is optional as long as there's no witnesses. But anyway, Ubisoft did announce earlier this week that they would be bringing back the Splinter Cell franchise in a form of a remake of the original game. I'm looking forward to it. They didn't really give a lot more information beyond that. But again, the fact that we're going to get a Splinter Cell game again makes me happy. I still say some of my favorite Splinter Cell games, aside from the first one, are probably a little bit more toward the end with Conviction and then the Blacklist, which the Blacklist in my mind was still a very, very underrated game. But I am looking so forward to that to see exactly what they do with it. I know they won't get the original guy back who played Sam Fisher, so I'm curious to see what they do with this game. But again, I'm just happy that it's eventually going to be coming out. Also, if you're like me and you're a Gears of War fan, I have some good news, and I also have some bad news. The good news is, if you're like me and you like Gears 5, but still felt like it was on the short side, because they really didn't give us, they gave us a lot of multiplayer maps, but as far as DLCs from the Hive Busters, which I thought was really good, you kind of felt like Gears 5 was a little bit lacking. Well, there is some good news. We do know that there will be a Gears of War 6. However, it is on the back burner until sometime in 2023, only because the coalition, who actually did work with Gears 4 and with Gears 5, will be working on a new IP, while Gears 6 is slated to be released sometime in 2023. So it's kind of a good news, bad news scenario. Again, I'm a Gears fan. The story, the gameplay, and of course, if you haven't played it by now, where it's currently at, because really near the end of Gears 5, you had a Mass Effect choice to save Del or to save JD, depending on which one you actually went with. Only I guess the ramifications from 5 will eventually carry over into 6. However, it might be a couple of years before we actually get to that point. So there's that. Also, I did want to also say one more of the game I did notice, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which again, if you haven't played that, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is very well done. I love the story of Eivor. I love what they went with as far as the franchise goes. And for some people, yes, it did seem more Viking than Assassin. but they actually going to be coming with a DLC. And on top of the DLC, it's actually a free DLC that's going to be coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla soon enough. And it's going to have a crossover event with Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Cassandra being one of the two characters that you can actually play in Odyssey. And if you haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you really should. Honestly, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, aside from the previous Assassin's Creed games, at least those are my three top favorites, just because of how much more story, the things that you can do, the naval battles, and DLCs. Just to me, made it all worth it. But again, who's gonna argue with free DLC? I don't know about you, Joe. I know most people don't argue with free DLC. Do you?
It depends on the DLC.
Dang, even if it's free, but it's free.
I mean, DLC sometimes for us these days just means a free blue shoe.
Damn.
But no, seriously, this isn't too bad. I've actually tried Odyssey. If any of them, the Ancient Egypt one didn't really. I just couldn't jam with the Ancient Egypt one. Odyssey, I really enjoyed. I love that Cassandra is a character, not Alexios. Because Alexios is just kind of boring. Cassandra has a bit more personality.
I think it was on purpose, but go ahead.
I think I got to the second island because I didn't lose interest. It just became too huge and too daunting. And then, I think at that point also the world wasn't on fire yet, and then the world went on fire.
Yeah, that also happened too.
So there's that. Maybe I'll go back to it down the road. I don't know. But I mean, crossover kind of is a spoiler to a degree if they're crossing over, because the other DLC kind of lets you know where Cassandra is in the grand scheme of things.
But I'm not wrong. But I'm not mad about that. I actually I like the idea that certain Assassin's Creed characters, they're not, because usually what we're used to, they're different time frames. But they never did say, as far as the Valhalla and Odyssey, not really coinciding with each other, which they really could run along the same time, the same time frame if we're giving it the old MCU the old MCU timeline, if you will.
Just let me know when we start crossing over with Ayame, Rikimaru, and the other Tenchu guys, so we can have Assassin's Creed Japan.
Wishful thinking. I'm with you.
That's exactly what Tenchu Stealth Assassin is. It's Assassin's Creed Japan.
Yeah, but the Assassin's Creed that we would love to have, we're never going to get, especially if it was feudal Japan. If it was feudal Japan, I would be happy about that. Say what?
Which makes no sense because we've already had that game.
Well, I mean, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, you're not wrong, but
we literally have a time portal where we fight in a 2005 Office Space with Rikimaru.
The funny part is you can also make that argument that what was the newest samurai game?
Sekiro.
Nope, before that. Actually, after that. The one where you can play as a samurai, the one you can play as a ninja, but it's the name escapes me right now. And I'm sad about it because it's actually one of my favorite games of last year, and I cannot remember the name to save my life. Dang.
Oh.
Ghost of Tsushima. There we go.
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I was like, that's probably
as close as we're assassinating all the Mongol hordes.
Pretty much. But I think that's as close as we're going to get. I would love to see Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. I would love to see a more updated Assassin's Creed, but yeah, we'll see. But keeping the train going, I did want to also point out a couple of anime news that I have, specifically Bleach, Bleach and My Hero Academia. It's actually because right now what's going on in Japan right now, the Jump Fiesta. For all those who don't know what that is, the Jump Festa, I should say. I keep on wanting to call it Fiesta, but the Jump Fest is actually going on right now in Japan, which means that those lucky people get the inside scoop on everything Shonen Jump and manga and anime. And supposedly, Tite Kubo, who is actually the author of Bleach, is going to be having his own panel there. So for all we know, for what's been said, that Bleach and the new arc watch. New to anime, but actually for manga, we've kind of known about it for over a year. The 1,000-Year Blood War. That anime is rumored to actually start showing in October of actually in October of next year, of October 2022. So that right now is the rumor. However, until about Saturday or so, we will not be able to get a more precise date. But the fact of the matter is that the Blood War is finally going to be able to be seen in an anime format makes me happy because there is so much story in this manga arc, if you will. There is way so much story. A lot of characters finally got powered up. At the same time, it actually gave us the ending in Bleach that we really were robbed of in Bleach 366. That's just me. Not only that, but My Hero Academia, its season 6 will also be in October of next year. And I'm looking forward to that just because My Hero Academia will finally start the war arc. Now, if you've been following the manga, the war arc in the manga did end with a twist. And now, as you know, the rest of us who are looking forward to actually seeing it in television form, it's gonna be it for a person like I said, for me, who's actually read the manga on this, it's gonna be nuts. And some people might get their feelings hurt. Some people are gonna be happy about it, and we're gonna talk about it once it becomes out. But both those mangas, as I said, both those mangas, their animes will be available hopefully October next year. Once the Jump Festa is over, hopefully we'll have some more concise information about it. But again, also on another note, Demon Slayer and the Entertainment District arc right now is looking awesome. I mean, it's only been a couple of episodes, but still, it is looking great. But beyond that, so Joe, before I go into this though, because I did want to talk about some other stuff that's come up, and I'm gonna go. I would like to call it the good and the bad and the ugly. So we're just gonna get the ugly out the way first. What I mean by that is the Flash Armageddon. Now, for all those that don't know, yes, the Flash did come back on a few weeks ago and had a 5-part series called Armageddon. And here's the trailer for the last episode of it.
Thawne messed with the timing. Now the timeline is fighting back.
She took away my life, piece by piece, until I lost everything.
Give him what he deserves.
You can still bring about Armageddon.
So yeah, that was something. So again, that was actually part 5. And again, we are going to talk about it in full detail. So if you have yet to watch part 5 or any of the Armageddon series of The Flash, now would be a good time to mute us and come back to it, because I'm going to ask Joe for his definite opinion on this. So Joe, because I know you've seen all 5 parts, I should say, of The Flash Armageddon. And now, after watching the ending of it, what is your impression of The Flash so far? Do you think that, did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Or should we still be concerned?
Well, they didn't stick the landing, but this whole 5-part thing was still better than the entirety of season 7. So, I mean, part 5 was fine. They finally got the gold boots, which they made a real big deal of in like a whole action sequence.
And that part was
good for them. He beats Despero with a legit double foot rider kick, which just knocks the fire out of him. Literally knocks the fire out of him.
Right.
They really tacked on the whole. Is it Mia?
Yes.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay, they really tacked on the whole Mia thing of where's my little brother or where's my twin brother. I forget how the brother's related to her. I don't know if it's twin or whatnot, but really tacked that on for no reason. And we kind of got a pseudo remake of Finish Line.
Yes.
But not really, but also kind of. That puts Thawne out of commission for the moment, because they legit bring up a point. It's like, we've taken away his speed before and he's gotten it back. Barry's like, no, this time will be different. It's like, no, it won't. He'll be your final villain because Thawne will always be your final villain.
I thought that was the biggest plot hole. It was like, wait a second. So you're going to sit there and tell me, because first and foremost, how I felt like Mia Queen just got inserted just because it was a crossover.
She was inserted, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but she was inserted in the same way Batwoman was inserted.
That's my point. That's the point I'm getting to. It just didn't serve a purpose. It did.
Well, they got to do something with Mia Queen because remember, her show didn't get picked up.
But this is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, when you first brought in Roy Palmer to kind of reprise his role, I guess, it kind of made sense in the story. You brought back Black Lightning. You brought back Black Lightning because it was some sort of protocol that you had that he could help you cut your connection to Speed Force. Okay, it's a little odd, but again, it's still somehow within the story. But when you got to Batwoman and you got to Mia Queen reprising her role as Green Arrow, it was like, y'all are just there. It's like decoration hanging to me. It's like you're just there because you're CW characters. And
pretty much.
That's the thing that was like, why even have a crossover event when your last two people that were in the episodes really weren't there for anything? And also the other thing that got me though, like I said, that big plot hole. So Despero literally gives, which again, I'd say Despero was just, he was, for somebody who could peer into the future, how did he get it wrong like 3 times? Because it's like,
well, that one's actually explained away because the timeline constantly shifted because of the reverse flashpoint and resetting the flashpoint and the use of a time stone, which wasn't an infinity stone, but we'll just leave that one alone.
But that's all. I'm like, look, I'll put it this way. So first, he thinks Flash is responsible, which we already knew that it was really Reverse Flash going back and basically being Flash and causing all this. Then causes his own reverse flashpoint. Now Despero knows that Reverse Flash is the cause of all this. Tells Flash, hey, you need to end him. It's like he's going to be erased from existence. Let him die. Despero is like, I'm like, wait a second. If you feel that way, Despero, why don't you just stop Barry? I mean, it's obvious you have the ability to stop him. Stop Barry from actually trying to save his life. Reverse Flash will disappear because the timeline is being restored and all is done. And don't get me wrong. I get the whole idea of what they were trying to do with Flash on CW. I get the whole idea of Flash does not inherently want to kill unless he absolutely has to. Okay. I get that. I get that to a certain extent. It's weak sauce. Don't get me wrong.
It's weak to the point where Joe called him out on the BS.
Right.
He literally just told his 2 children, like, get in the other room.
That was like, was that not the biggest bring your tail over here moment?
He might as well just like, you 2 go get a switch, meet me in the other room.
That's pretty much what it was. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, you guys are better. Don't get me wrong. I get that Joe's supposed to be the moral center. I do love Joe's character on The Flash. He's supposed to be the moral compass. And, just like Diggle was to Stephen Amell's character on Arrow. I get that. But it's like, even I'm thinking like, Despero has a point. You realize that Eobard is all he's going to do is figure out how to get his connection back to the negative Speed Force. And then he's going to cause hell for you. You could literally solve your problem. So I just felt like that was like the whole thing about depowering Reverse Flash. And then, like you said, the gold boots, which I was like, which again, I give it to Grant Gustin. Don't get me wrong. You're happy that, you've completed the Flash ensemble of gold boots. I am not mad at you for that. But like you said, Joe, they just made it into such a point about these boosts. It's like, it kind of takes away from the fact of what was really Armageddon about, that someone just had a bad premonition, decided to come over and stop you. And you spent 5 episodes doing what? Restoring the timeline again. And what makes me so worried is that at the very end, you see both Bart and Nora again. I'm like,
Yeah, that was super weird. Did they explain? Was there a reason they just showed up in a picture of 2014
Uh,
in a police lineup shoot, other
I
than
think
to literally just photobomb and say, "Hey, we're in the crossover"?
that's what it seems
That
like.
just
I think
feels so incredibly tacked on.
it feels like they're gonna do another we messed with the timeline. I mean, is it just me, or is it just like I feel like with the Flash, they fall too much in love with the whole we're going to wreck the timeline. So it's like something wrecked the timeline, we have to go back and fix it and spend the entire season trying to fix it. And I kind of
What that tells me is they got free of Time Force Grandma
yeah, I mean with the Speed Force, yeah, but
or
I
Speed
mean
Force Grandma.
yeah. So it's just like I kind of feel like why are we falling in love with the whole timeline being wrecked scenario? Like there's still plenty of rogues that can still be brought up that the Flash could go up against, even though they kind of went for the heavies already. I mean, you already went for Godspeed, you've already went for Zoom, you already went for Reverse Flash, Mirror Master, Weather Wizard. We can keep going down the line here, but there's still plenty of other enemies that can be brought up. But I just feel like they're always gonna fall in love with the timelines wrecked and Barry's got to fix it scenario, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. Because I'm not sure if season 8 is going to be the final season of Flash. They really didn't announce it or say it is, but that's why I'm a little. I mean, I don't know about you, Joe. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned that this is the storyline for season 8, and I'm like, if it is, this might as well be the final season of the Flash. But what do you think?
If it is, it is. They've gone 8 seasons. We can move on to something else.
What else is
If
there?
not, we can shift to a different speedster and start telling new stories. But
What else is there in the CW? Well, you also got to remember the CW is really still trying to bang on Batwoman, which again, I like the direction. Batwoman's new season, I do like the direction they're going in, which is
I
a
think
lot
it's too
different.
late. I think the damage has been done on that one. They're gonna have to work like 2 to 3 times as hard to dig themselves out of the grave from the previous two.
But I mean, you are right. It is quite the hole. Quite the hole. Is it recoverable? Yes, I still say it is. Because those last 2 seasons was but I know you were watching. Well, while I'm getting the Hawkeye thing queued up, what were you gonna say about Young Justice? Because I know you've been following it. You've been going through the pain I've been going through, so I know you can talk about it.
That series is getting. I hope to God that they have some sort of like smooth as butter animation fight coming up in the next arc or the last 13 episodes or nothing short of uh what the hell is that anime studio that does oh they better have asked Trigger Studio to do like the final 13 episodes
Uh-huh.
because this has just become still frame and narration the TV show. This episode, we explored the origins of Naboo. More talk about the Lords of Order and Chaos via flashbacks and stills. Um, this one is also very heavy handed with the religion, which is not in and of itself bad, but it's just not something you expect. You don't expect a full Muslim prayer, which was very beautiful in its rendition.
Uh-huh.
Or you don't expect someone to literally do the full Catholic Our Father prayer to, of all things, the spirit of Naboo with a giant magical light cross behind you to prove your point to a god of order. Aside from those two things, we're still padding out this Beast Boy Depression series to the point where I'm wondering if it's going to go into accidental overdose suicide scenario because at this point
It wasn't that dark?
Sleep aids and muscle relaxer are spread all over his nightstand. He's sleeping all over the place to the point where the team is like, are you even going to help? Then he just like, look, you said I didn't get enough sleep. Now you say I get too much sleep. What do you want from me? Like they
Oh,
are
they're
genuinely
they're
concerned about his well-being because of the depression of
going.
losing
They're
his
really going
daughter.
dark.
Oh yeah, no, they're going like super duper dark. But at the same time, it's also really boring padding, and I don't think it's having the effect it's supposed to have. At least not on me. I don't know what it is, but I just see it as like, let's cut the Beast Boy asleep. Okay, let's go to a still where they monologue about something. All right, action scene. All right, Beast Boy sleeping again.
Dang, that sounds like some bad cutting and editing.
It's not cutting and editing. It's not even the pacing. It's just that's all they're doing this season thus far. And I understand that like this is him trying to get through the grief of losing what is essentially his older brother / brother-in-law to be, but like they're parsing it out through what is now 8 episodes of the 12 that are out right now, 11 or 12, and it's just the lack of focus on it is just making it uninteresting. And I feel they need to make a whole episode dealing with it, which I'm sure they will. I mean, we don't get like this kind of visual stuff if we're not going to be doing it. But still, it just is boring. Like the whole episodes are just boring. Like we have Tracy 13, who Fate puts like 3 people through their trials.
Yeah.
They have to fight the new Lord of Chaos. So like Tracy 13 has to deal with her own insecurities. Khalid, which is also technically the original Dr. Fate's nephew. Hector Hall's nephew, who in New 52 was Dr. Fate. And Mary Marvel, who cannot become Sergeant Marvel anymore because she became so addicted.
Right.
It seems that she never transformed back, but she can channel the powers of Shazam by calling upon an individual aspect at a time. And that is her new power.
Oh, she's that depowered. Okay.
No, she's not depowered. The thing literally says, I became addicted to being Sergeant Marvel to the point where I was just Sergeant Marvel and there was no Mary. So I had to quit cold turkey, but I still want to be a hero. So basically, I think she said Billy gave her the ability to summon one aspect of
Shazam at a time.
So she'll say like speed of Mercury and then have super speed, or the stamina of Atlas and get stamina and endurance, but she cannot fully assume the form of Sergeant Marvel.
I want to watch Shazam all over again. I just love the fact that you're having that same feeling about Young Justice that I had about Batwoman.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's bad. It's just right now it's a chore because it feels like a lot of things are happening, but the way it's presented is poor.
That's how I was like, yes, that's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels.
Like they animated like the whole fight between like they show that Vandal Savage was at one point Marduk, King of Babylonia. Yeah. And then he was happy with where he was, and according to the Witch Boy is like, hey, I'm back per our agreement. I want to spice things up. Here's Starro. So that's how Babylonia fell. But we don't get that. We just get a still of him with his son Nabu, a still of Clarion popping in, a still of Starro coming in, and then another still of the battle, and then another still of them carrying the fallen body of Nabu.
It's a lot. Well, we're gonna leave it there for that because I did want to ask you about Hawkeye before this. Now, before you give me your opinions on it, this was actually the teaser trailer for episode 5. Again, we are gonna go fully into spoilers, so if you have not yet seen it, now would be the good time to mute us as we're playing the teaser trailer for 5.
Okay, it's time. I just want to know you're ready.
I'm ready.
This Wednesday, the Marvel Universe is about to get a lot bigger. There's someone at the top. He's the guy I've been worried about this whole time.
No, babe.
Marvel Studios Hawkeye season.
Okay, so again, that was the trailer for the season finale. Of course, I'm gonna let Joe start first. Joe, I know you caught up on Hawkeye, and I know I have to give you props as I usually do because so far you are like what 3 for 3 on calling out stuff. If I've got the numbers right.
Oh, I mean, it's true. Macaroni is very tasty.
We're not counting that. What he means by that is that he is talking, because if you guys don't remember, we were actually talking about sometime last week, would Kingpin actually show on Hawkeye or would he actually show first on Spider-Man No Way Home? Now, again, if you've seen episode 5 of Hawkeye, at the very end, you do see a still where it shows Kate's mother and a very, very familiar Kingpin. And
yeah,
I do
very
mean familiar.
Kingpin and a wonderful, glorious 480p camera
Yeah.
picture, which I guess makes sense considering Yelena's phone would be from 2018, where 720p was just a brand new thing.
Right.
Because we do learn that she does get blipped.
Yep.
And we do see what the blip does to her, which is actually one of the core effects of. We see her, like, for lack of a better term, blow up.
Yeah.
And then come back together, and then her whole perception shifts in front of her as reality around her is getting caught up to her. So
Yeah.
the white bathroom slowly becomes entirely remodeled in green.
It was interesting. And the whole thing about, the same woman, the same widow that she helped. Well, the widow which I thought was weird. The widow that she helped, that she gassed, was like, what are you doing? Well, aren't you under mind control? No.
No, I just made a good living killing people. Contract killing is a okay thing for us to do.
I kind of felt like it was a Full Metal Jacket moment. Killing's my business, ladies, and business is good. It was a look that she had on her face, like you're not in trouble. No.
It's like, this is not a clay sex pervert house. No, I own this house. This is my house.
It was too funny. And then, like you said, when the blip flash forwarded, she's still there, and she's like, "I thought you were dead." It's like you came back, and then she's telling the whole story, and of course, and of the the traumatic thing about it was the whole thing. Let me call Natasha. I gotta let her know I gotta let her know I'm okay. And
that's one of those looks of, oh, sweetie, sit down.
Yeah. It was just that whole turnabout, and I was like, oh, so we're telling like you said, we're telling Elena's blip story, as she's literally having a full-blown macaroni and cheese sit down with Kate.
Well, I mean, on top of that, the way this event goes is Black Widow, this event, the ending scene with Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Black Widow, the after credit scene,
right?
In this,
right?
But some of it doesn't really line up because it's like Contessa, Princess Angelina, Contessa, Luigi Francesca, Banana Fana Fafesca III.
I saw that coming.
I know you did, but like I can't think of her name, so we'll call her Dot. The Contessa tells Yelena, it's like, here's the man who killed your sister. So there's the motive for her to want to kill Hawkeye. But then she's also hired, coincidentally, to kill Hawkeye, but she doesn't know who her employer is, which that's sketchy altogether for Yelena, for anybody, period, if you're a contractor. Yeah. Now, honestly, I don't know how the word of mercenary works, but I assume you can be hired through proxies, and you don't actually know who your employer is. You just know the money's good, and you know what your target is.
And you
that's entirely within the realm of possibility.
And ask as little details as humanly possible, apparently.
But Yelena seems to be the type of person who's like, I want to know who's hiring me to a degree.
Yeah.
Uh, so we learned that Eleanor is hired her on behalf of Wilson Fisk. And on top of that, I also kind of cast some shadows of, I don't think the Battle of New York killed her husband at this point. I think Eleanor killed her husband on behalf of Fisk even before the as the
I
Battle of New
mean,
York happened, and just used that as an excuse of, oh, aliens killed my husband. Yeah, aliens.
she's going with the whole Black Widow theory. It's like, yeah, so Battle of New York was like a perfect insurance. It's perfect insurance, Mark. No one will question me.
On top of that, I like that we got rid of the red herring, which is Swordsman.
Yeah.
They're like, yep, Jack Duquesne's like, don't worry, darling. I'll be back in no time. It's like, no, you won't. We won't see you again anytime soon. You're nothing. You are literally a pup named Scooby Doo's red herring.
Dang. You ain't wrong, but dang. But
And then, like I said, the whole episode was great. Grills is the best. He is fantastic. Love him to death.
he is becoming the quintessential right hand man to Clint. That was like, he's like, man, Hawkeye doesn't need a hotel. You can have my couch. You can have my bed. It's
That's
like
fine.
I just sat there and just thought that was interesting. That's why I was like, it's. I was thinking to myself the whole time. This has such a diehard Christmas movie feel to it. Like we know the final episode is coming up, and I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Now, so we know the final episode's coming up, and we already know that we see. I'm already calling that the Kingpin's going to have more of a role, and I cannot wait to hear "When I Was a Boy." I can't wait. I can't wait for that line to come up.
Well, we don't know what D'Onofrio's. We did confirm that actually is Vincent D'Onofrio by the credits.
Yep.
So that really was him in a very original. Actually, the suit made him look more like the 90s Fox
Kingpin.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like down to the purple ascot.
I like that. It was just, I was just like, it's kind of funny on his Twitter. Like initially when the episode aired and like the day after on his Twitter, he posted "When I Was a Boy" and had the full picture. I was like, you're playing with us right now. And I'm kind of mad about that. It's like, I need that story. I need that story when every time something happens, I need that story. And the thing, and that's why I said I loved about this, like I know it's going to come to a head, especially with Echo, and Echo's going to have some words anyway because her confidant looks sketchy as all get out when Clint sat there and told her, "Look, I was pretty much tipped off by one of your people. And then she goes, and of course you're gonna ask the right hand man. It's like, hey, where were you the night my father was killed? I don't know." It's like, weren't you at the meeting?
I wasn't invited to the meeting.
And she kind of looked at him funny, like, "Yep, there's your snitch." So it's like, so I'm looking forward to see where it goes. Aside from that, I know Disney's pretty much wrapping up Hawkeye because we know directly after that, I think about a week after that, the book of Boba Fett starts.
Yep.
Right.
Disney just jumps from one thing to another, which thank God. I mean, we don't have to really wait. Haley Steinfeld has just been a gem in this whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, she's been great, Case Bishop. I can't make any fun of it. And shout out to Lucky the Pizza Dog, who has been the most obedient dog in this entire franchise.
I'm kind of sad we don't get like the standalone Lucky episode like we got the Matt Fraction issue. That would have been great.
But I'm liking it. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a nice. And I hate to say it, it's like well then again it's like, will Hawkeye continue? Because a lot of people want it to continue because it's so clandestine. It's almost like someone sat there and said what they did with Hawkeye they should do with Black Widow, which I can see the pros and cons out of that.
So if they continue Hawkeye, there's two ways you continue it. You literally continue it with Hawkeye Investigations and make it about Kate.
Uh-huh.
You do Young Avengers, which at this point they really are setting up for a Young Avengers.
Oh yeah.
We
They
already
definitely
have Elijah, the twins, and Kate now. All we just need is for a young Kang to appear as Iron Lad, and we're good to go. Or we just straight up do West Coast Avengers.
Nah, I think they might take a while for West Coast Avengers, but then again, it's Marvel. They love to throw us down loopholes. Trust me. We did that with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we've been thrown down loopholes, and I've said enough Mephistos and nightmares to the point to where we're gonna just conjure him up in Multiverse of Madness at this point. But aside from that, also, let me switch gears for a second as well. I did want to give my quick impressions of The Witcher, because The Witcher just actually started streaming season 2 as of today. 8 episodes in all, which is 2 episodes short of its first season. And to give you an idea, guys, here's the trailer for season 2.
Something has changed, girl. The world's acting strange these days. The North and South at war. Monsters roam and wonder should be hibernating. Maybe it's the end of days. Are you willing? The shadows rise,
I've lived through 3 supposed end of days. It's all horseshit. This continent was meant for no one. None of us will have any peace until there are no monsters left in the world.
That's my home. My fight. Your precious fleet is after something. You're a pawn to get to it.
Rebuild our forces, strengthen our numbers. We are an empire. The war's just begun.
There is an illness that can consume you. I'll there's a chance. Is to face it. Are you ready for this?
If what you say about that girl's power is true, you can't help her.
Man, myth, legend.
We need your help.
Fine. But first, gentlemen, it's been an honor. What? I made new friends. Get over it. Jealous?
Okay, so that was actually the season 2 trailer for The Witcher season 2. I know Joe hasn't watched it, so I know.
I have a question, though.
Say what?
I have a question.
Shoot.
Why is John Constantine's House of Mystery in this series?
And now that's going to be stuck in my head now. Thanks, Joe. Thanks. That's going to be stuck in my head every time
That
I
is
watch
a valid question.
That's gonna, hey, budget cuts, man. But but no, as Joe just kind of messed me up, because now every time I watch Witcher, it's gonna be in my head now. Okay, so season 2. Really not gonna go into any detail because, like I said, this is fresh, and as a rule on Get Bit, we do not discuss anything fresh. I eventually will come back to it and give my impressions of season 2 in full detail. But just overall, after watching it today, I was happily impressed where they're going with it. I see that they are taking a lot of Henry Cavill's suggestions and sticking with the source material, because there are plenty of Witcher books out there, as well as the 3 games. For all those that are paying attention, yes, I will say this: it is following the Blood of Elves storyline. So for all those who are familiar with the book, yes, it is definitely sticking to that. And again, I apologize for the beheading in the trailer. I kind of forgot that Netflix does not really censor anything. So I apologize for the beheadings that you saw of monsters, but monsters don't have feelings. That being said, overall, from a impression standpoint, if you like The Witcher season 1, you're definitely gonna like season 2. And the whole story of Geralt and Cersei and Yennefer and Kaer Morhen and Vesemir, it is definitely worth watching. So I just want to let people know about that, because again, I am a big Witcher fan and I fell in love with season 2. But probably a week from now, like I would say, in our Friday, Christmas Eve, December 24th. So I will probably go into a little bit more detail on it on our special Christmas Eve episode. But for right now, I would highly recommend The Witcher if you're definitely a Witcher fan. Now, Joe did bring, before we get to Joe's comic book news and other stuff that he may have, 2 other things I do have that Joe did bring up. That Michelle Yeoh, I keep on wanting to mispronounce her name.
The first time.
Huh?
You're right the first time.
I always mess up her last name, even though she is a wonderful martial artist and a great actress. She will be in, besides a Netflix Witcher spinoff, she's actually in another movie in which another podcasting friend of mine, Vaughn, Big BZA did show on his smoking trailers. And I wanted to show this one because I kind of forgot all about Michelle Yeoh being in a movie that is literally, how do we describe this, Joe? And is it Inception with martial art? Say what?
Multiversal kung fu flick.
Pretty much. So this is the trailer I wanted to show before we talk about it. It's pretty much called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, that is the name of the movie.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us? I am paying attention.
Now, you may only see a pile of receipts, but I see a story. I can see where this story is going. It does not look good.
What's happening?
Evelyn, I'm not your husband. I'm another version of him from another universe. I'm here because we need your help.
Very busy today. No time to help you.
Across the multiverse, I've seen thousands of Evelyns. You can access all their memories, their emotions, even their skills. There's a great evil spreading throughout the many verses. And you may be your only chance of stopping it.
Only without you, I am really good.
I don't believe you.
Wow, that was really good.
He's waiting in the wings.
The universe
He speaks of senseless things.
is so much bigger
Written you and me.
than you realize.
Of all the places I could be, I just wanted to share with you.
Remember our mission concerning the fate of every single world of our infinite multiverse.
There is no way I am the Evelyn you are looking for.
Every rejection, every disappointment has led you here to this moment. Don't let anything distract you from it.
all I can say is wow. There is no other word but wow. Everything, everywhere, all at once. As you said, multi-level storytelling and martial
Multiversal.
arts. Say what?
Multiversal.
Yeah, multiversal martial arts, over the top. I almost got Kingsman vibes from that. Which, by the way, I can't wait to see that in about a couple of days.
I guess with this many jokes, I guess the joke now, that many googly eyes is googly eyed Michelle Yeoh can't hurt you.
Yeah, she can. You like to think so, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of interested in watching it just to see what it is, or to see really what's it about. To be honest, but I'm really it's gotten my attention. I can't say I'm way more than that. But the last little bit of news I got before I head over to Joe and his top 5, he actually did bring this up, and this was a trailer that I did not know about, and I'm kind of glad about it. For all those that don't know, Disney, because I don't remember if Disney they did talk about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Do you remember if they did, Joe?
Yes, it was brought up in the D3 stuff.
Okay. So I did not know. I mean, I guess I wasn't paying attention or just completely passed my head. But yes, Marvel/Disney is moving forward with a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And I guess because he wasn't in the Matrix Resurrections would explain where he was this entire time. I think Morpheus is going to be voicing Devil Dinosaur. Check it out.
Hey, everybody. Lawrence Fishburne. I have just finished up a recording for this new show that I'm executive producing. It's called Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. As a special holiday treat from me to you, here is a first official peek.
If you didn't know it, then now you know. If you didn't know it, then now you know.
Hey, everybody. Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, didn't mean to play that. Didn't mean to play it more than once. So that was basically Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And I kind of figured it would be animated, just because of how else do you explain the smartest individual in the MCU, and of course her rolling partner, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I'm kind of looking forward to it next summer. It seems 2022, or I should say, we hope that 2022 is going to be a less, how can we put this ever so nicely, COVID strained year, because let's be honest, 2020 was woo, and 2021 was hold my beer. So let's hope even number years bring us good luck. So I'm gonna be looking forward to that cartoon in 2022 with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Joe, because I know Joe has some news and some comics he would love to share. So just let me know when you're ready to share, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead and share the Godzilla thing.
All right. Oh,
that's comics.
Right. Oh, sorry. Hang on a second. Did you send me? Yes, you did send me Godzilla. My bad. Give me a second. So that's a my bad moment. Okay, you're good now.
Scroll down a little.
All right.
There we go. Okay, so this actually just got announced yesterday and made the rounds. This is going to be a 5-part miniseries by IDW where it's Godzilla versus the Power Rangers. As the article says, it's coming out March 22nd. This will be brought to us by Colin Bunn with art by Freddie William II. The long and short of it is Rita gets tired of fighting the Power Rangers, uses an artifact to go to another world to attempt to conquer it. But oops, that's the world Godzilla inhabits. So Rita decides to start tossing monsters at Godzilla. We all know how that's going to go. And then the Power Rangers decide to follow her to protect that world, only except, oops, Godzilla's there. So the whole crux of this is just, as we can see in the cover art, the crux of this story is really going to be, can Tommy's Dragon Zord stand up to Godzilla, or is he going to get folded just like every other Mecha Godzilla?
I'm just gonna point. I was about to point that out. So we're just gonna low key throw in a lower tier Mecha Godzilla against Godzilla.
I mean, this one isn't as low tier as Mecha Godzilla because if the other Rangers are there, that means Godzilla has to contend with all of Rita's monsters. For whatever reason, fight the individual Dinozords, the Megazord, the Dragon Zord, then the Mega Dragon Zord, and then probably the Ultra Zord, and he's probably still gonna bend over all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it like kind of a one-sided fight though?
Yeah, but it's just funny to see Rita goes like, all right, I've had enough of you guys. I'm going over here. Crap.
A fair point. I just thought about that Godzilla versus Power Rangers. Like, how would that go over?
And we also need to remember, comic book Godzilla is very much like the Godzilla 2000 era Godzilla of everybody is my enemy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
He
at this
got
point,
his way out of hell in the comic books.
because I was gonna say his atomic breath is rated E for everybody. Everybody's gonna catch it.
On top of the other thing we need to be aware of is if they're in the Godzilla, if the Power Rangers are in the Godzilla universe, that means Godzilla is, while their biggest problem, not their least problem. They got to deal with everybody if this is a 5-part book.
Yeah, I mean
There's a
Mothra.
chance that they got that Ghidorah's gonna roll up on them, or
Rodan can roll up on them. Mothra.
Rodan is the Starscream of monsters. We don't have to worry about him.
You say that, but you're going with Power Rangers. Even he would look powerful at that point.
Now, I guarantee you, Kimberly's going to solo him with the Pterodactyl Zord.
Oh, that would just be insult to injury. Talk about insult to injury.
Like, we have pretty much everybody on Monster Island. We could even have Destroya for whatever reason.
But still, it's just I guess it'd be interesting. I think to myself, imagine on the island with the biggest kaiju ever imaginable, and you still gotta work your way up to Godzilla. That's worse than a Mortal Kombat round. It's like you gotta work your way up to Godzilla.
No, it's just round 1, fight Goro.
I was just think about that. You see Godzilla just standing up on a mountain, just like with everybody else below him, saying, "You gotta earn your right to fight me." I'm just saying that would be pretty funny. But then again, I can see Tommy come out of nowhere. Cool, we can go. We can square up. Let me bring my Dragon Zord to this.
No, they'll just literally ask, like, Tommy, why does this thing look like Dragon Zord? I don't know.
Oh man, that's funny.
Because we do actually know, if you're reading the current comic books, Dragon Zord actually does have his own atomic breath. It's just one of those, if you use it, Dragon Zord's pretty much useless for a little bit.
Again, it's like you just see that legendary Dragon Ball moment when they both decide to use the same attack and have that standoff.
I think Godzilla's like, well, this is cute. Okay, time to actually put effort into this.
Oh, I can see that. It could just go over so badly.
It's gonna be like the Godzilla Kong fight, where Godzilla literally makes the face and it's like, oh, the kids got fight. That's cute. You know which part I'm talking about too.
I do. That's why I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well scenario.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. It's a 5-part miniseries. I will definitely be getting the trade for this whenever it comes out. Colin Bunn is really, really good at crossover books, considering what he's writing right now. I am not too familiar with the art of Freddie Williams II, but if it's anything like this, I'm down.
I can see that. But
this just looks enjoyable.
It looks going to be funny.
Like I said, I just love the premises. Rita's tired of fighting the Rangers. I'm going to go conquer a different Earth. Oops.
And you all just see Godzilla, you roll up on the wrong planet.
Oh, I just want to see her like put out one putty in the middle of an inadvertently Godzilla fight happens.
Oh, I would be laughing my head off back alone that when you rolled up on the wrong you rolled up on the wrong planet. Just I'm sorry. Continue. I'm just laughing. I'm sitting here.
Using an ancient artifact to transport herself to a universe without Power Rangers, but finds herself in a world with aliens, kaiju, and Godzilla. Hoping to annihilate this new foe, Rita hurls her own terrible creatures into battle, but she never expects the Rangers to follow her into this alternate reality, pitting the dinosaurs themselves against the King of the Monsters. And we have other like comic book covers. One is the Dragon Zord roaring at Godzilla while Tommy's fighting Goldar. Oh, Goldar versus Godzilla is going to be great.
Goldar. It's gonna be a. I'm sorry. It just seems like it's gonna be a white. If Godzilla's not gonna take this seriously, it's like getting one good shot. And it's like, okay, playtime's over.
So apparently, also the cool thing about it is only the first issue is going to be a lot of variant covers, but issues 2 through 5 are going to combine, quote, like Voltron to make a giant panoramic fight. Also, in parentheses, no, Voltron is not in the series that we know of.
I'm gonna wait for
the analogy that they use is, as Ken Watanabe put, let them fight.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for judgment on that issue. But what else you got, Joe?
That's really all I got for news right now. It was kind of a slow news week.
Slow. Don't say snow. It's already cold here in Tennessee.
No,
please don't say snow.
No, it's not.
It is 30
right.
No, it's not.
I forgot about this. Over on Twitch TV, Tokusatsu is actually starting to host Friday night Godzilla marathons.
Nice.
So if you want to see Godzilla, speaking of Godzilla,
wait. Is it wait? Hang on a second. Is the original Godzilla movies, or it's like all of them?
It looks like starting November 3rd, there will be a 48-hour kaiju marathon. So this happened a bit ago, but I have been seeing more Godzilla and Ultraman stuff, kaiju stuff on it. So it was a little bit of everything. They have like Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Gigan, Terror of Mechagodzilla, The Horrible Son of Godzilla.
At least it's not Gamera.
Gamera is actually really good if you know what you're doing. The newer Gamera films, yes.
I'm withholding judgment on that one. I've seen some pretty bad Gamera movies, but okay.
I've seen all the Gamera movies. I know what we're talking about.
But all right. But you mean switch you over to show your comics? Or
yeah, we can swap on over to comic time.
Gotcha. All yours, sir.
All right, so this issue and the next issue we will be talking about tie into them. So this is Spider-Man issue 81. This is written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Carlos Gomez. We are now finally dealing with the copyright issue between Miles Morales and Ben Reilly. The long and short of it is some giant tree-like creature is attacking Brooklyn. Ben is sent out by the Beyond Corporation to go fight it. Winds up with Miles. And the corporation does tell him, it's like, hey, more than likely this kid is going to be there. Please make sure you enforce the fact that he is obeying the cease and desist. We have focus tested several names. Please run this by him. We heard Slinger and Stryker are always good names.
Dang.
Ben is just like, yeah, sure.
He's not going to go for that.
We do get to see that they have further enhanced the suit where the webs under his arms actually give him limited gliding capability now.
Okay.
Kind of like what they used to way back in the 60s. like
Huh.
early Spider-Man, why he had the web thing because he could glide for like a brief bit.
Yeah.
So he gets there, he fights it. Miles shows up. Of course, there's a giant scuffle, and then Miles like, "Who are you? You're a fake." It's like technically the best way we can look at it is like I am a really estranged brother of Peter. Miles is like, "Wait, didn't I work with you during the last gigantic spider event where there was like a whole multiverse of us?" Like, yeah, I was there. I was the one that died a whole bunch. It's like, oh, no, we're cool. So they team up and defeat the tree thing. And we also kind of find out that the Beyond Corporation is maybe behind the tree dude.
Yeah.
Ben is unaware of this, however, because he is also dealing with the head of his division, Maxine, again, because he failed to enforce the copyright infringement. His handler has been dealing with the disciplinary action, I guess is the best way of putting it, because that's how they put it. So we don't know what's happened to him, but Maxine's starting to get more and more involved with Ben's stuff. Meanwhile, so that's what's going on in this issue. So after the fight ends, we pick up literally as soon as Miles leaves, we pick up with his issue.
Okay.
So Miles is looking into what caused the guy to become a giant tree-like monster called Rhizome or something, and goes to get his clone brother, Gloop, or something.
Hence the Bizarro Spider-Man.
No, he's kind of like a mud monster. That's an unstable clone. He's kind of like Spider-Side. If you want to throw that way back in the Wayback Machine.
Okay.
But all he can say is Gloop.
Yeah, that's a more accurate that's a more accurate representation. Yep, you got it.
So like they track it down to this corporation building, and it turns out like it's a mirage, and it looks more like an alien tech spire than an actual like warehouse that they're thinking it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of where it ends there. But it's nice that those two kind of literally correlate with each other rather than it be two separate stories. Because literally one is Ben's story and then the other one still spins out of the main book, but it's what Miles is doing on his end.
Still glue, but I just not thought about that. I'm sorry. You keep going. I'm sorry.
No, we're good. Next up is Excalibur 26. This is the finale for Excalibur. Next time we'll be picking this up, it'll be going under the new title, Knights of X.
Okay.
The battle with Merlin rages on. Saturnine and Betsy were originally trapped in another dimension outside of the boat. I thought this was going to be like a long issue of Betsy and Saturnine kind of hashing it out and coming to terms because they do not like each other. No, Saturnine's like, I'm an interdimensional being. So we're back. By the way, this is how I screwed over all of the world of magic. Betsy's having to deal with it. Everybody is leaving. Meanwhile, the British Ministry of Magic, that's the best way I can put it. The actual magicians that are not mutants sever the connection to the lighthouse to the other world, thus destroying the lighthouse, trapping certain individuals that have not gone through the Krakoan Gate in the magical world. Gambit has this really fun instance of since the lighthouse is destroyed, he's living there. Okay. So all of his cats are there, so he's terrified that his cats were killed. Turns out, no, they're just all kind of loafing around in the rubble. Fine. It's like, where are my cats? You just hear mew, and then the next page, it's like all three of his cats are just loafing over by Betty by a sword.
Nice.
Outside of that, the mutants are terrified because some of them are lost in Otherworld now, and Otherworld is currently being ruled by Merlin and Arthur. Betsy takes all the power of the core and just sends herself back there, and that's kind of where it ends. And then from there, we will not be able to pick the story back up until March when Knights of X takes over.
So they decided to go with the cliffhanger.
Not quite a cliffhanger. This definitely puts a finale into Excalibur. But like the next arc of the story will be picked up in Knights of X.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because Knights of X is going to have a different roster. It may go back to more of the original Excalibur roster. Because we see that Brian will be a part of it. We see that Rachel will be a part of it. And Megan will be a part of it.
Gotcha.
So I really enjoyed this. And this is written by Teenie Howard with Marcus by artist Marcus Stowe. Bouncing over to DC, we have the premiere issue of Batgirls. This is written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad with art by George Corona. This is just Batgirl. The Stephanie, what's the best way of putting it?
Is Birds of Prey with Batgirls?
No, this is the excellent adventures of Stephanie and Cassandra. The art right there is exactly what it is. The cover art is also done by the same artist. The art is very cartoonish. And it's literally just the Batgirls moving into a building. Barbara's watching over them. There's shenanigans. We get to see how they deal with a bunk bed issue. We learn that Cassandra has a purple unicorn bathrobe, which she told Stephanie at one point she lost it, but it magically became found again. We see that they steal a car from a villain, and then like, well, what are we going to call the car? Which has been in the previews for a while.
Yeah.
We get the new Batgirl car known only as Bando. And then at the end of the issue, we are, let me see if I can, because I really don't want to, yeah, there we go. The Saints with the backward S. And we get Techno Knights. Taurus, Asasi, Valentine, and Fido 5. So we get their new villains. I really enjoyed this. It's a great way to start out on a book. It's fun.
I really dig the artwork.
There's a lot of little winks and nods because Barbara's trying to be like dorm mom to them. And then like she's passed out her computer and there's a little alert that goes, it's 5 a.m. Do you know where your Batgirls are?
Dang.
It was just fun.
It looks. I definitely dig on the artwork though. But
oh yeah. And then rounding out, we got Wonder Girl issue 6. Writers Joella Jones. Artist this time is Lila De Duca. The reason for the change is the book actually got super behind because Joella Jones is meticulous in her artwork and gorgeously so. But because of that, they were several months behind. So they are having to shift writers that get close to Jones's art style, but not quite to keep up. So the art is not as gorgeous as it was, but it's still very pretty.
Okay.
But as a result of that, I actually can read. I actually knew what was going on the first time, so I didn't have to reread the book multiple times just because of the artwork being so good. So this one is as a result of everything, rejecting Kara's gift and whatnot, and being defeated left and right, trying to get out of Olympus, Yara is thrown in Tartarus, where she tries to make an escape. It does not go well. She is captured by one of the guardians of Tartarus. Eros is like, hey, why'd you do this? She's like, I love you, but I'm not down with what Hera was selling.
I love you, but you can't be trusted.
I love you. I can't be trusted. And by the way, why do I love you again? Because I have a boyfriend.
Damn.
So she's starting to wise up that she's been enchanted a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, she does get to escape, and as a result of being in the land of the dead, she is reunited with Jerry, who she tries to give a hug, and Jerry is just like, "Why are you on me, woman?" So just the Pegasus gives her that like look of "Don't you touch me," and Yar's like, "Fine, fine, we're not there yet. I'm just glad you're well,
No, we're not
you're
there.
dead, but we're in Tartarus, so."
No, we're not there yet. I'm sorry. That part got me. We're not there yet.
If I can find it. I really don't want to like try and use comic book panels if I don't have to, because that's another way we can get DMCA'd.
Yeah. But you're going to find that part where he said we're not there yet.
Yeah, right there. It's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're alive. Right there.
Dang. We're not there yet. Oh, man.
Yeah. So again, good moments. Yara is trying to also learn how to actually use her bolos, as they are elemental bolos. So at some point, she'll be able to use different elements via the bolo. She does get lightning to work, and we learned that the Amazonian tribe of Brazil is getting ready to storm the gates of Olympus. On the directly on the other side of the gates, Yara is trying to open them so she and Jerry can escape, and it's going to be a comedy of timing. Meanwhile, Donna informs Cassie why she's with the Brazilian Amazons, and it's like, hey, war's coming, and we're all going to need to pick a side.
Dang.
And Yara's at the center of this.
It's kind of like, you might want to join us, just saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So, good book. Wonder Girl continues to impress.
Especially that we're not there yet. That was still funny.
Oh yeah, no, I love that.
Not that we're not. Okay. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe, for the top 5. Also, guys, shout out to Rick's Comic City for supporting us here at the Give It Podcast. We want to show love back to them. You can definitely check them out. They have 3 locations. One is in Fort Campbell, one is in Clarksville, and one is in Donaldson. So please swing by, as they have just been awarded Nashville's best comic book place. What was the award? Best place to get comic books, or best comic books in Nashville?
Best comic book store in Nashville.
Thank you. As they got that award. So definitely check them out. As Joe does frequently because I believe you're still trying to round up your Kate Bishop collection, sir. Is that right?
I think I just got to get Young Avengers Complete Collection. The original Young Avengers Complete Collection. Then that's it. And then I'll figure something else out, I'm sure.
There'll probably be another collection for you to hunt down. But definitely do check them out. And also, if you don't have the ability to go to a comic book store, keep in mind, guys, libraries, believe it or not, carry the most up-to-date comic books and manga and anime out there. So you can definitely go to your local library and still check it out at the cost of $1 for a library card. I know, right? 2021, library card's still $1. But with the library card, you'll be able to check that out, be able to read to your heart's content, because again, these are the last living bastions of where we can actually get comic books that you can see, that you can hold, that you can touch, that you can read. Nothing wrong with digital, but as the great Stan Lee once said, comic books are much like boobs. They feel better in your hand. Just saying. So with that being said, that's really going to do it for us here. So Joe, anything you want to let the people know that you're into and what you're doing, sir?
Well, I tried streaming.
Besides the DMCA Gundam battle issue.
Well, actually, I can't really stream that to YouTube because Namco Bandai is notorious about blocking gameplay. So I can't stream anything beyond Chapter 1 via YouTube because of how Namco has their PlayStation games set up.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta restream some to Twitch, then kick it over to YouTube.
Okay, I kind of figured
I may just like kick my previous streams over.
I saw when you posted that. I was like, dang, Namco strikes again. Namco.
Oh, I even say it in there, and it's exactly what I said. It's like when the opening thing kicked in, it's like, and this will get me copyright claimed. And sure enough, it was the 2-minute opening theme.
Dang. And it got you, and it got it, man, and it got you, and it got DMCA right. But yes,
like you can't monetize this video. Which, if you're not paying attention on my Facebook, I put it's like, oh no, they demonetized my video on my money making YouTube page.
What shall I do? But is your schedule? But because the holiday is coming up, sir, is your schedule changed any? Or
yeah, like, I can barely stream anything at this point.
Because I know you've been streaming a lot on Joe Italian last name on Twitch. So that's the reason why I asked. Because I know with the holidays coming up, it's like, are you gonna do anything different? Or it's like I said before, because Joe has actually streamed quite a lot. I'm kind of jealous of him that he streamed such a lot, especially playing Guardians of the Galaxy in a Nova helmet. That is still up for you guys to watch, by the way, because if you didn't notice, that's difficult with that Nova helmet on and still trying to play. Even I looked, I was like, even with me, even though I have a head full of hair, I in no way could put a Nova helmet on and still play successfully. And Joe pulled it off, about 7 times?
Give or take.
So yeah, so definitely that. Anything on the horizon, sir? I know that you are going to go see Spider-Man No Way Home tomorrow, but are you cosplaying? Are you gonna be just treating it in your civvies? How you doing, sir?
No, I'm gonna be at a cosplay event over at the Malco Cinema Theater thingamabob over in Smyrna.
Okay.
I'll be there as Scarlet Spidey.
Nice. Well, as you can see, guys, Joe does have his Joe Italian last name is the Twitter, but what's your IG handle, sir, where they can follow you on?
Nashville Scarlet Spider and Nashville Green Lantern.
Cool. Before I do that, here's some other shameless plugging I have to do. Well, not have to do, because have to sounds so bad. I want to be able to plug people shamelessly. That did not sound right. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is let me first point out 2 good friends of mine. First off, Big VZA Dot. As you can see, he's currently on hiatus right now, but I definitely do want to give him a shout out because again, he shares our show just as much as we share his. You can definitely find him, Ada Von Westwood on Facebook, Big VZA Dot on socials, where he usually has a Smoking Trailer Sundays every Sunday from 6:30 to 9 p.m., which he does videos of reviews of movies and video games that he finds interesting and therefore wants to share it with you. He also has the RAF podcast, in which every Tuesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. it's like America's Funniest Home Videos, except done by World Star. So only for the grown and intended. So definitely check him out on his IG as well as all his other socials. As you can see there, Ada Von Westwood on Facebook or Big VZA Dot on all socials. Also, shout out to Ari and Gee, Present Geek Salad, for allowing us to share our podcast on their page as well. Definitely want to give them a shout out because just like us, they are podcasting geeks that want to talk about everything pop culture unfiltered. Because trust me, Ari is a Zack Snyder fan, and me and him go at it a lot. All in love, but with Snyder fans, you gotta have to treat them like Stockholm Syndrome. But anyway, nice group of guys. Definitely check them out. Follow them there, Geek Salad on Facebook and on YouTube as you're currently watching right now. Now, with that being said, because I'm pretty sure Ari's going to come after me for that Zack Snyder comment, as for yours truly, the link that is scrolling at the bottom, if you copy and paste that into your browser, will take you to my link. We'll take you to my link tree that has the YouTube and Facebook groups for all of my podcasts. How the Fact We Got Here, Get Bitten Off Us podcast. We are still keeping this train going. So, yes, there will still be podcasts. Next week is in the week of Christmas. There will still be a How the Fact We Got Here. There will be a Christmas Eve version of Get Bit podcast. So yes, all those are still going to be happening in effect and live for your viewing pleasure on Facebook and on YouTube. So definitely follow us there. Last thing I'll say before we get out of here, guys, again, please follow the no spoilers. I know for a lot of us, we have seen Spider-Man No Way Home. We have our opinions on it. Please, oh please, do not be that guy that comes out of movie theaters saying everything about the movie. Please do not be that guy that has to get on social media and give his raw opinion. Even you can say spoiler alert all the time. Keep in mind, guys, everybody has different lives, schedules, families, things of that nature. Not everybody can go see a movie when it first comes out at midnight. So with that being said, it is completely okay. Like for me on my Facebook and Instagram, all I said was smiling. That is all. you can do that with no problem. But like I said, just follow the golden rule. You don't want nobody to spoil a movie for you. Don't spoil it for them. Don't immediately give your opinion on something, and at least give it time. That's all I'm asking. And aside from that, also for Joe's sake, because Joe is a healthcare professional, he deals with the human condition on a daily basis. That being said, guys, at this point, because it's getting colder, I know right now it's 60 degrees in Tennessee in December, climate change, I know. But eventually we will get a cold front that'll make us feel like winter is coming. That being said, guys, please, oh please, get vaccinated, get your shots, get your boosters, wear your mask, be safe out there, because you protect yourself, you protect others, and you can make the numbers go down in the hospital and help professionals like Joe actually remain sane. Because trust me, there are a couple of times I see Joe's Facebook posts, and I'm just like, he's a saint. That's all I know. I could not be a healthcare professional and dealing with patients, and they give me comments like that. I know myself. He gives very pinpointed, sarcastic comments. I'm more like Thor's hammer in a china shop. Nothing will be standing afterwards.
Oh no,
So-
I'm blunt. I'm just politely blunt. If they ask me, does this dress make me look fat? I'll just tell them, it looked nice, but let's consider other avenues.
See, that's very nice. Now, someone told me if does this dress make me look fat? No, you're already fat. The dress just pointed out your insecurities. See how that sounds? It's worse. I mean, it's honesty, but it's worse. But anyway, with that being said, guys, we're definitely gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching, for liking, for letting people know that we're live. Of course, this is gonna be uploaded to our channels and of course to YouTube. So if you're watching this on playback, please comment if it's live. We still want to know your opinion on everything that we talked about. Aside from that, guys, hopefully you guys have a happy holidays, no matter what you celebrate or not celebrate, or maybe you just celebrate 2 days off and are looking forward to getting drunk on New Year's. It's completely up to you. But either way, have fun. Have peace in your heart. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Thanks for watching, guys. We are out. Peace.
Later.